ID Alliance presents this week's short attention span sales tip. Good morning, it's Bill Farquharson. How are you today? Hey, I want to talk to you today about a couple questions actually, that comes up quite frequently in my coaching calls, and that is two of them. What should my first step be in my prospecting process? And then what should the message be? There's lots of different ways, that first step in the process is lots of different options. You can send a letter. You can knock on someone's door, go bang on their door with a cold call like we used to. It can be a phone call. It can be an email. It can be a text message, I suppose. I don't think there's a wrong answer. My personal preference is I like the introductory letter. I like it because a lot of us are in mailing, well, we're certainly in print. So we're kind of demonstrating the value of our own technology and how it works. I think it's also very professional. I can write a very good letter. I can write something that's going to stand out. Nobody does this anymore, so it's different. A subject we're going to get to in a couple of weeks. So it's rather unique just by being basic and professional. In terms of the second part, what do I want to say? Stephen Covey said, begin with the end in mind. What kind of conversation do you want to get into? And really think about that. If you want to get into a price conversation, then call up and say, who buys your print or labels or packaging or whatever? That's not the conversation that I want to get into. I want to learn the story behind the printed piece. So I'm going to not talk about their print needs. I'm going to talk about their business needs. I'm going to do research on the company so that I understand what they do, so that I'm getting in at a different level, at a higher level. I'm coming in at the design stage of the job, not the quote stage of the job. And so my opening comment is going to be specific to their company and their business needs. All right, let's dive deeper into this. Back up a second. You heard me say that first impression, that first step should be something unique because we only get one chance to make a first impression. Everybody is emailing. What is it? 90% of all emails are spam. Everybody is emailing. Hey, my name is, and this is what I'm selling, and give me a call. I get that email all the time. Drives me crazy. Why would I call you? So if everybody's going left, you should be going right. Because everyone's emailing, the mailbox is open. When's the last time you got a personal letter? A professionally written personal letter? I was very lucky. I had a college professor that taught me how to write a letter properly. John Bickley, University of Alabama in Tuscaloosa. And he taught me some great life lessons, but he also taught me some great business lessons. There's a way to fold a letter. Did you know that? You don't fold it perfectly in a barrel roll. You fold it with about 1/8 of an inch tab so that you can pick it up and the letter barrel rolls in front of you. Little tiny Katie Gibbs types of things like that. I like that approach. I'm able to put some very good messages in writing. The written word is more powerful than the spoken word. Sure, I can make an introductory phone call too. That's great. And I'm going to let my personality out in that voicemail message. I figure it this way. I'm looking for my customer, right? I'm going to kiss a lot of frogs, but in the end, I'm going to do business with somebody who hears my message and says, you know what? That sounds like an interesting person, a fun person, somebody that I'd like to do business with. So I'm going to leave a voicemail message that exudes every part of me. Let your personality out in that first voicemail message. Email is terrific too, but you better get it right. My last name is Farquharson, Farquharson. Get it right. Get it right. Get it right the first time. It's easy to find. I'm on LinkedIn. If you mess up somebody's name in writing in an email, I think you're dead in the water. Do you want to send a sample in the mail? I don't think so, and I'll tell you why. I don't like the idea. The problem with that is you send out a beautiful piece, something that's just gorgeous, something you're very proud of. You run the risk of that person looking at it and saying, I bet they're expensive. It's all right, so I'm going to send out a normal piece, an ordinary piece, and then you run the risk of them saying, they're ordinary. So really you can't win. If you're going to send out a sample, send a story. Here's something that we did for somebody else. That will make the difference. As far as face-to-face visit, well, this is the way we did it back in the old days. And there was a receptionist. You could walk in and you could schmooze/flirt with the receptionist to try and get in. Doesn't happen anymore. People don't have, buyers don't have office hours anymore, which I think is a tremendous loss for them because they don't know what they don't know. In terms of the words to use, that to me comes down to that research. I'm gonna differentiate myself, a subject we'll talk about in a couple of weeks. I'm going to differentiate myself through my message and through that research so that first impression is this guy did some homework prior to picking up the phone. He looked up my LinkedIn profile. He looked up my company. He quoted my company's mission statement, or he noticed something about it, or he's got a way to help the problem that I'm having, and he knows that because he looked it up. So that's a huge difference maker. Think about, as Stephen Covey would say, begin with the end in mind. Who do I want to be? What kind of conversation do I want to get into? What's my ideal? And then how do I get there? So really what I want to do is I want to talk about their business needs. I want to talk about their strategy, where they're going, how they're growing. That's where I want to end up. But I have to win my way there. I've got to get some credibility in order to be there. And that comes through that first impression, that message that I am leaving, the one that's saying, hey, I'm not just a print sales rep. I am a business growth strategist. We help our customers to find their customers. Very powerful words. Solve the problem, earn the order. A good vendor is as important as a good customer. I'm trying to stuff all of that into my approach, but especially into that first step. So something that is valuable, something that is diligent, something that is put in writing, something that is really going to make that great first impression. And if I can't finish the sentence, the purpose of my call is, without having something really good to say, I don't pick up the phone. I don't start. It's that important. So there's a bunch of ideas for you for first impressions. Have a great selling week, everybody. Happy President's Day, and we'll talk to you all next week.